Cosmos, Cosmos, are you around?
Yes, SG, I'm around. How are you? Good afternoon to you.
Good, good. How are you?
I'm excellent, and yourself?
Great, great. I hope that nice suit is a made in Africa suit.
Yes, precisely it is.
Okay, thank you.
It came
Thank
from
you.
one of our African countries that I can confirm, SG.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Mutonono, how are you?
I'm very well, SG. How are you long time?
Yeah, good, good. I think I should come that side very soon.
Precisely, precisely.
Yeah, I am planning for Cosmos very soon. Yeah.
Beautiful. We'll be glad to host you.
Yeah. Thank you very much for coming, and thank you also for hosting. I think we should start. Yeah. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. I am very, very excited to host this webinar together with Standard Association of Zimbabwe, with my brother Cosmos Mukoi, and we will be having a moderator who is also from Zimbabwe, Ranganai Mutonon. It's a very exciting moment because, as you know, textile and leather has been on the radar for this industrial development for Africa. When you look at the industrial development for Africa in this sector, it has been going down, but we should revive it. Yeah. Today, we will be discussing building Africa's industrialization and manufacturing strength in the textile and leather industry as backbone for Africa's economy, creating a competitive value chain, trends, opportunities, and strategies. My question to the audience is to let's think through this industrial development. We talk about textiles development, leather development. We talk about second-hand clothing, being shoes, being the clothes that we have. We talk about those second hands, but knowing that even if we also ban them, and as we develop our textile and leather industry, we will also generate ourselves the second hands clothing. Yeah. What do we do about that? Yeah, it's not just about banning, because we will develop our industry and produce also second hand. The other part is made in Africa. Yes, yeah, we will have product made in Africa. But the issue of quality, it's not just that something is coming from Zimbabwe or Kenya or Ethiopia or Egypt that I should buy it. But it's also the issue of quality. And lastly, let's think about the measurement, body measurement. You see UK measurement, you see USA measurement, you see China measurement when we are buying clothes or footwear. But where do we stand as Africa? Today, I would like to inform you we have a committee, a working group on body measurement, actually having a meeting in Addis this week, discussing how we can have African body measurement. But look at the 55 countries. We have 5 regions by statistics on body measurement. How are we going to do that? Let's hear from the speakers what will happen. I hand over to you, my co-host, Cosmos, for introductory remarks, and you can welcome the moderator. Thank you, Cosmos.
Thank you very much, SG, for those remarks. We appreciate them a lot. Just to start by acknowledging you, our Secretary General, Dr. Imogen, and also the entire ASO Central Secretariat, I think for this opportunity that you gave the Standards Association of Zimbabwe to be co-host of this very important webinar, distinguished speakers, the entire ASO family, industry experts, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to this webinar. We are excited as the Standards Association of Zimbabwe to be the co-host. And to our distinguished participants, I know some of you may not know much about SARS, but just to give you a bit of background information, by saying SARS was, which is the Standards Association of Zimbabwe, was formed in 1957, and we are the national standards body in Zimbabwe. Our activities are partly funded by a grant from the Standards Development Fund, a department under our parent ministry, the Ministry of Industry and Commerce, and also from our own revenue. The association is involved to a greater extent in the standardizing development work at the regional, continental, and the international level, that is at SADC, ASO, and ISO. ASO being the subject matter today. Besides standards development, the association offers standards-based training, and I'm pleased to advise you that on one of our most successful projects, we collaborated with ASO and the Catholic University in Zimbabwe to offer the postgraduate diploma in standardization. Zimbabwe is a signatory to the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, and I'm pleased to advise you that SARS has and continues to participate in the excellent work being done by ASO of harmonizing standards so that we have African standards that will facilitate trade among East African countries, so that we increase intra-Africa trade of quality and safe products to meaningful levels to create wealth for our people. This is precisely why Zimbabwe's vision is that of being an empowered and upper middle income society by 2030. To ensure that the ASO harmonized standards do not gather dust, colleagues, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, SARS continues to adopt these standards for use. Sorry about the SARS continues to adopt these African standards to ensure that Zimbabwe goods, once they conform to the African standard, they'll be accepted everywhere on the continent. And coming to the important topic of today, building Africa's industrialization and manufacturing strength in the textile and leather industry as backbone for Africa's economy, creating competitive value chain trends, opportunities, and strategies. Distinguished participants, as we build Africa's industrialization and manufacturing strength in the textile and leather industry, we should also be mindful that SARS and ASO standards that cut across the entire value chain. These tools are important as they ensure that once we have an African standard, we need one test and the goods are accepted everywhere on the continent. To create competitive value chains, for example, in the leather industry, like my brother, our SG has just said, I think there's a lot of work to do from where we are and where we are at the moment. I'm sure in terms of industrialization boost, there's a lot of work that all of us need to do. And just to share with you as I close my remarks, that at country level, with the National Competitiveness Commission, which SARS works closely with, standardization is key in resolving some of the gaps which research has flagged. Just to give you one example, in the 2023 report on the leather value chain, the NDS1, which is our National Development Strategy, as a country prioritized leather. And one of the key value chains which needs to be revitalized is the leather value chain. The sector, the information that the research produced was to the effect that we used to produce about 17 million pairs of shoes per annum at our peak, of which 6 million, worth about 30 million were exported per annum. Currently, less than 1 million pairs are being produced, which means we have our work cut out, I think, as industry and also as standardizers. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I wish you all fruitful deliberations and I invite you to the webinar. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Cosmos. Yeah, you can invite the moderator from your office. Thank you.
Thank you. I will invite our Director of Certification Services, Mr. Rangan to take over. Over to you, Rangan.
Thank you, SG. Thank you, SAS Director General, for the opportunity. And I want also to welcome everyone who is joining us on this ASO webinar meeting, which is the 38th meeting. As you have heard, the theme we are moving with is the potential of manufacturing and industrialization in Africa. But the topic for this meeting is building Africa's industrialization and manufacturing strengths in the textile and leather industry as backbone for Africa's economy, creating a competitive value chain, trends, opportunities, and strategies. So I'm encouraging everyone to listen to the presenters that are lined up for today. We do have about 5 presenters who are lined up. And in one of the presentations, we are going to have possibly 2 presenters joining up to make their presentation. And we are looking forward to a fruitful session where we deliberate and come up with proper recommendations so that at the end of this session, we come up with the way forward to ensure that this topic that we are discussing today comes to fruition. We do have speakers whom I'll be introducing when they'll be coming in detail. We do have Nakim Jennifer, who is from Uganda. We have Donald Chavi, who is from Zimbabwe. We also have Rumbizai Shoshe, who is from Zimbabwe. We have Matilda Mweme, who is from UNIDO. She will, I think, be co-presenting with her colleague. Then we will also have Michael Kraye, who is going to present for the day. The presenters will be given a maximum of 10 minutes each to do their presentations, which may be followed by some few clarifications from my end as the moderator. Then after all the presenters have gone through their presentations, we are going to have the session, a question and answer session, as well as way forward to wrap up for the day. But I'm encouraging participants to also channel your questions through the chat box so that we are able to consolidate those questions and ensure that the respective presenters will be able to tackle the questions. And if also during the question and answer session, you can also be able to raise your hand so that will give you an opportunity to ask the question. But on the issue that can affect us is the issue of time. So I will urge everyone, even when we participate in this process, let's try to be as brief as possible so that we are able to exhaust all the areas that needs to be clarified, as well as tackling all, if not most of the questions that we may be having or areas to clarify. But also further, let's also ensure that we come up with the recommendations that the solutions that are necessary for us to have the proper revival in this textiles and leather industry, which is key for the African continent and economy. What I'm going to do now is to call upon our first presenter, who is Nakim Jennifer. Nakim Jennifer is an ardent supporter of textile manufacturing and possesses a diploma and degree in textiles and clothing technology She's presently the CEO of Constructive Ideas Limited, an organization which is based in Kampala, Uganda, and specializes in knitting, embroidery, and accessory production. Yes, there are quite a number of issues from her bio, but I think from another important aspect is that she's a committed Christian, and she's also a member of the technical committee on the Uganda National Bureau of Standards, TC 315, the EASC TC 061 for East Africa, and also TC 053, which is also important. So let me give this opportunity to Nakim Jeshnifa to take us through her presentation. Thank you. Over to you, Nakim.
Thank you. As introduced, I'm Jennifer, and I will go straight to the presentation. Thank you for that introduction. Let me share the document. Thank you very much. I'm going to be talking about the profiling of the African clothing, textile and leather value chains, and the labeling of the products as made in Africa, the regulatory framework and standards and conformity assessment harmonization in the textile and leather value chain, and the initiatives that ASO has put out there. In a bit, I'll be telling you more about ASO, but I'll first go straight to this presentation. We're going to talk about the potential of the textile and leather value chains in Africa. The first thing that this particular sector, or these particular two sectors, that is leather and textiles, what they'll be able to do for us as a continent, they'll be able to provide incomes and jobs to the different people groups that we have, but more particularly to the women and the youth. And if you notice, we have a growing number of youth on this continent, and that is a very good advantage to us. Secondly, it will be able to help us get foreign currency receipts. That is, in the long term, there will be those two sectors will be providing countries with opportunity for sustainable economic development, and this will be possible with appropriate policies, and that falls under industrial standardization, as we will discuss in the long run. And textile and leather, as sectors, they have the ability to employ an assortment of people. That is what we have under employment requirements. Someone had told me that the screen is too small. Is that better?
The whole screen may be.
You will lose the content. Yeah, okay. You will lose the content. Yeah, if you do that way.
Is that okay? Okay, what is there now? Is it okay?
No, the title is not being seen. Yeah.
Okay, so what do we do?
Yeah, you may continue as the way it was before. Yeah, I think is you are formatting. Yeah.
All right. What has on was the issue of employment requirements. This is a sector that has an advantage that there are portions where you don't need really skilled laborers, someone can learn on job, and then alongside the skilled laborers. So it has the ability to employ quite a wide range of people. So people will not feel left out. And then we have this rich heritage in Africa. Imagine just one country can have over 50 tribes, and all those tribes have a certain way they dress. So imagine we incorporate all those designs in the work that we put out there in the world, in the products that we present out there in the world. We have a wide range of designs to work with, so that makes us have an advantage over, I guess, so many other areas of the world. And then there are standardization bodies. As you know, all the countries on this platform now have their particular standard bodies, but we have one that is bringing all of us together, and that is ASO. So that is a very good advantage that we have. So as a continent, we need to step up our game in that line from the different potentials that I've shared that we have. We can work well with that. I will go to the next. You'll excuse the background. I'm at the workshop and there's a lot going on, but I hope I'll be audible enough. Then next we have the role of standardization. As I was trying to prepare, I had to really go through and know what is this standardization that we are talking about. And it is to bring into conformity with a standard, especially in order to assure consistency and regularity. So in whatever it is that we are trying to do, as the very first speaker mentioned, we need quality work. So we don't need to just work with what is around, we need to work with quality. We need to work with proper measurements, proper, what can the world out there relate with that is really of good quality? Can we afford to mark our products made in Africa, made in whichever country that you come from? So that is the first thing that we look at. And what does standardization, sorry about that. What does standardization ensure? Standardization will ensure quality infrastructure, which is the bridge between the industry and the market. So if the infrastructure is well streamlined, what to expect when you're working on your products, I think that will be a very good thing for us as a continent. And then it will help us work with proper market access. You know what your market expects, so you'll just carry your products to the market with the right standards, and you'll have no problem doing trade. And then it also helps us work on economies of scale. Here, there is efficiency and effectiveness of utilizing our resources around us. We are a gifted continent, so we shouldn't take the resources that we got from God. We should take them seriously, so we are able to utilize them very well. That standards can help us in that way. Standards and technical regulations also help us define what can and what cannot be exchanged. What can and what cannot be exchanged. For example, if we have certain procedure that this is what this product should have, we all ought to conform to what is required. Then also standards will help us expose competition. They'll help us compete well on the market. They'll help us in innovation because, I mean, whatever you're dealing with is already streamlined. And then there will be fitness for purpose to our end consumer. They will be able to get value for their money. Then they'll help us guard against factors that affect the health and safety of our consumers. For example, if there are certain products that are not acceptable by our science professionals, probably they could cause cancer, they could cause any other thing, but mainly lately we are so worried about the cancer issues. So the standards will be able to give us that, because you know why you should do this and why you shouldn't do what you're doing. And then they'll also help us have a proper complaint system. They'll help us have a proper complaint system in case there's something that has gone wrong or you've bought a product, you're able to trace and know how to deal with it. And then also standards will help us in sustainability, like how do we dispose of what we have used. As we come up with all these things, we need to start thinking about what the standards are saying and how do we incorporate the bit of sustainability in them. I'll go to the next standard. To the next slide, sorry about that. If I may say, what is ASO doing? We may have questions like, okay, it's an African body that is there to help us with the standards and the measurements. What exactly are they doing? ASO was able to create technical committees, and we have a committee on textiles and the related products and accessories, that is ASO TC 053. Then we have one on leather products and accessories, that is ASO TC 54. And we also have one on footwear and accessories, that is TC 55. That is TC 55. And I can gladly let you know that all those committees are working. Standards are being put out there for them to be used. So we are grateful to ASO for the work that is going on. And another thing that they are working on, our original speaker talked about it, the initiative of body measurements. And there's a special working group as mentioned. They are currently in Ethiopia, trying to come up with ways of how we can deal with the issue of body measurements for our ready-to-wear garments that we are manufacturing, and also our footwear. So that is what ASO is doing. And at the beginning, I mentioned that I'll share something about ASO. I think this is the time that I'm going to share it briefly. Let me share that document very fast.
While we are on that, thank you, Jennifer. Just maybe try to conclude in the next 2 minutes.
All right. So I've shared about the technical committees. I think that is what we are seeing on the screen. So the project we ran up to December, and it started in It started in November 2022, and it is a collaboration between Afreximbank and ITFC. And we hope the project is going to help us as a continent. We hope the project help us as a continent. Some of the harmonized standards so far that we have. That is the sanitary towels, woven fabrics. We have knitted apparel, shoes and boots, laces. So we have quite a number of products that are being standardized to the African setting. So those are some of the details, how the cotton apparel sector is moving on and what it has the potential to do for us as a continent. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for your attention. I hope I've been of great help to the continent. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jennifer, for the presentation, which is very, very informative. And you indeed highlighted key issues with regards to the importance of the textiles and leather industry in Africa. Some of the things that you pointed out are to do with it assists in generation of foreign currency as well as income, especially when you are looking at the women and youth, creation of jobs in the value chain, which is very, very important. I think you also pointed out, the role of standardization and certification and other conformity activities to create a competitive advantage to various, organizations, as well as, ensuring issues of health and safety to consumers is guaranteed. Maybe as a follow-up question, I'm noting that you are a member of various technical committees, at national and regional and continental level. What would you say has been, the advantages of harmonization of standards from your experience?
What I've seen is there's improvement in quality of products. People are more keen. For example, here in Uganda, the quality of diapers, I'll say that particular one, and wipes, I can see a very big difference in the quality that we are getting. Yeah, that's one of the things that I've really seen. And also people look forward to getting the quality mark. We call it the Q mark. I don't know if all other states call it the same. So people strive towards making quality products. I've also noticed that there's the packaging has improved greatly. Before, people would put in any simple polythene paper that they come across, but lately packaging, the labeling has also improved a lot. Yes, I feel there's a big difference. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer, for that. And there are going to be, further questions and comments from the participants. We are going to call upon you once again to clarify more, as well as explaining more on this topic. But thank you very much for this good and great presentation. Our next presenter was supposed to be Donald Chavi, but is yet to join. What we are going to do is we are going to move to the third presenter, and if Donald joins later, then we will have a presentation from him. So I'll call upon Ms. Rumbidzai Shoshe, who is going to be our next presenter. She is the laboratory manager for the Standards Association of Zimbabwe in the Chemical and Foods Division. And she holds an undergraduate degree in food science and nutrition and postgraduate degree in safety, health, and environmental management. She has 9 years work experience in the lab in testing of various range of products, which also includes textiles, chemicals, water, beverages, to mention a few. And she has also worked with various equipment. And of note is that she manages an accredited laboratory ISO IEC 17025, and she's also the SADCA's appointed, nominated representative and technical signatory for microbiology and aflatoxin analysis for the system. She is also a holder of, she's trained in lead auditing for FSSC 22000, and she's part of the SARS pool of auditors for this scheme. So let me give this opportunity so that she present to us on the topic promoting the textiles and clothing value chains in Africa, African countries, focusing on the role of standardization in clearing and regulatory infrastructural bottlenecks, a Zimbabwean experience. Over to you, Rumbi. You can take us through your presentation. Thank you.
A very good afternoon to you all. Thank you very much, Mr. Mtonono. I've shared my screen. Kindly confirm if it's visible.
Yes, we can confirm that it's visible from my end.
Right.
If
Thank
you
you very
can
much.
click on full screen, click on full screen.
Maybe we can put on a slide show, yes.
Oh, all right, that's okay. Let me just. All right. So I'm going to be looking at the role of standardization in clearing the regulatory infrastructural bottlenecks, looking at the Zimbabwe's experience as we seek to promote the value chains in the textile industry. The textile value chain industry in Zimbabwe is faces numerous challenges due to regulatory infrastructural bottlenecks, which we are going to look at a later stage. So this presentation explores the vital role of the standardization in overcoming these bottlenecks so that we can revitalize the industry. So allow me to just give a brief background of how Zimbabwe has been performing in terms of textiles. So from the late 1980s to the 90s, Zimbabwe used to boast of a full functional cotton to clothing value chain, and it contributed to a 5% GDP and employing over 35,000 people. However, the chain has regrettably been broken in the last decades. Zimbabwe itself has many unexploited competitive advantage with our geographical location and the transport infrastructure capable of expedient distribution. We do have full potential to act as a hub for trade. The country is peaceful, known for its peaceful, and there's a good, abundant, skilled workers who are educated and productive. So looking at the leather value chain, the sector is one also of prioritized value chains under the National Development Strategy, like our DG previously mentioned. So there's a strategy from 2021 to 2025, which caters for the leather value chain with potential to improve the manufacture of value-added products as well as exports. The leather industry is a global manufacturing sector dominated by small and medium enterprises at the moment who produces raw, processed and finished materials, amongst other things, leather belts, footwear, wallets, and also handicrafts. So in the Zimbabwe leather sector strategies 2021 to 2030, it looks at and looks to achieve increased capacity utilization for value-added products from 30% to 75% by end of 2030. It also looks to enhance the application of sustainable technologies from the current 10% to 60% of the manufacturing companies by 2030. It's also looking at increasing the export of leather products from 10 to 40% of production by year end 2030, and also lobby for the development and reform of 70% of identified policies and legal frameworks for transformation of the leather sector, also by year 2030. The leather sector is quite a vibrant one, and over the last 2 decades, it has performed well. But however, currently we are facing challenges, and some of the challenges have adversely impacted on the sector's development. The current challenges in the textile industry, or value chain of the textile industry, that we are facing at the moment is outdated machinery. There's significant challenges due to use of obsolete machinery, which are not technologically advanced, and this hinders productivity and competitiveness. Then we also have limited access to markets, and the restricted opportunities to expand the markets also reach both domestically and internationally pose a major challenge. I think this also can be attributed to what is happening economically, which also limits our access to international or regional markets. There is also inconsistent quality control. The varied quality standards negatively impact customer trust and hinder export potential. So we can see that there's quite a number of quality standards whom maybe our industry who utilize those one may not be aware of, and this may lead to them not being able to utilize quality standards that are available. So there's probably need to raise an awareness and conscientize them on how to properly use the available quality standards that can lead to competitiveness, and also maybe ensure that they earn trust from their potential customers. Okay, looking at regulation infrastructure or bottlenecks, we have policy support network. Our policy support network is mainly made up of the government ministries and departments that are instrumental in developing these policies for each sector of the value chain. So each sector of the value chain has got a specific ministries which assist in developing the policies. The government derives its power to make policies from the Constitution. So all the policies also are influenced by Constitution. The Constitution also is, it does not separate, it's inclusive, and also ensures that everyone, for irrespective of their agenda. So how then the bottlenecks come in? We see that the policy enforcement is limited, especially in the agricultural sector, where we are looking at maybe the cotton seed farmers. There's only one regulator who's enforcing, which is the Agricultural Marketing Authority at the moment, and this limits enforcement and create bottlenecks. There's also overarching trade service networks. The policies are implemented much too fast and does not give probably much time for the businesses to adjust to what they are supposed to do. The policies often are not clearly defined, and we can see that there's over-regulation of the policies that certain ministries are coming in to do almost the similar task. There's also failure to reverse or modify some policies that were introduced to the detriment of business. The same, for instance, we want to reverse or modify some policies, it really takes time for the policies to be approved, whereas they are needed to be used. There's also lack of funding and resources for the policymakers to be able to effectively carry out the task that is required of them. And there's also duplication of tasks, like I said previously, and the fragmentation of regulatory and oversight bodies adversely impact on competitiveness of the leather value chain. There's also lack of coordination from important policies so that they are at the same ground and agree to what they are implementing at a certain period of time. So we can say in a summary, the regulatory infrastructure of bottlenecks in the textile industry result from a cumbersome approval process, and they create excessive red tapes where we are looking maybe at excessive bureaucracy, and also outdated policies hamper the growth for innovation. How then does the standardization come into clearing all these bottlenecks? We are saying standardization increases or enhances efficiency and productivity. There are enhanced market access. There's also consistent quality and safety. we look at when we look at efficiency and productivity enhancement, we are seeing that standardization reduces the complexities that are probably in the processes that the textile value chain need to implement. And once it's clear to what they are supposed to do, then it increases efficiency and enhances productivity. Then if they enhance the market access, where we are saying maybe globally or regionally, we have harmonized the standards that speaks to each other, then we are saying it's easier to access those markets and it eliminates trade barriers. Then when we are looking at the consistency of quality and safety, once we have implemented our standards, the role of standardization now comes in to say boost customer trust, because we are going to be following and implementing the same prescribed things over and over again. It also, amongst other things, promote quality assurance, promote consumer protection, ensures safety, where maybe we have standards that prescribes regulations which regards to certain chemical and substances which may be cause or harm or hazardous during the textile manufacture or in the value chain manufacture of the products. So we are saying once we implement those standards that have got regulations, then we are sure that our environment may be safe, our workers may be safe, as well as the consumers that we are probably making the products for. There's also innovation is also created, and it creates environmental sustainability and ecological balance. There's also cost reduction due to limited wastes. When we know what we are doing, we reduce costs which are related to errors that can come in as we make our products. There's also elimination of duplication of roles, because the standards for different sectors will be available and everyone will be knowing what they are supposed to be doing. Implementation of the standardization in the textile industry, how do we go about it? We've seen that in Zimbabwe, generally, there's need to raise an awareness industry-wide.
Sorry, Rumbi.
Yes.
Yes, I appreciate that you do have a lot of things to cover. May you kindly try to be through the next 2 minutes because of time.
That's okay, thank you. All right. So there's need, whilst we are implementing standardization, there's need to increase wide awareness, capacity, and also develop standards that are needed or required at the time by our value chain. We do have results of success stories in standardization where we have seen that we've managed to have exports and enhanced competitiveness and also promoting innovation. We'll mention a few companies that are exporting leather. We have Sabezi Tanners, we have Kadoma Textiles, which also specializes in cotton and cotton lint production. And then we also have small to medium enterprises coming in with quite a number of leather handicrafts, which are quite good and a story of success. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Rumbi, for the detailed presentation, as well as the key points that you have highlighted. And indeed, the standardization plays a crucial role in terms of unfolding some of the key regulatory challenges that exist within the textile and leather value chains. But maybe to get further clarity from yourself, from a Zimbabwean experience, have there been cases whereby we do have certain standards which are enforced, which relate to textiles and leather?
Yes, we do. We have certain statutory instruments. I will not be able to say by name, but there are certain statutory instruments which govern the production, which are enforced by the Environmental Management Agency, which looks at the facility where the infrastructure where the textile value chains are being made or produced, and seeks to protect the workers for a safe and healthy environment, as well as the environmental sustainability.
No, thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you for also highlighting, some of the key statistics where we noted that Zimbabwe used to be quite, having a significant GDP contribution of about 5% during the 1980s, which has drastically gone down to currently probably less than 1% or so. But we are hoping that the strategy that has been put in place by the country will assist the industry to get back to where it was before. We will proceed with the next presenter. And I think we will tackle the questions or comments with regarding to your presentation during the Q&A session. We are now moving to our next presenter, who is Miss Matilda Mweme from UNIDO. Matilda has been with UNIDO for 16 years, where she has served in various capacities, including as a member of the portfolio manager for over 20 countries in Africa. And she's also a bureau focal point for UNIDO cooperation, various African institutions, including the African Union Commission, the Department of Industry, Trade, Tourism and Minerals, AYUDA, NEPAD, and regional economic communities. She's also focal point for activities within various frameworks, including OCAC and TICAD. And currently she's serving as a coordinator of the Third Industrial Development for Africa initiative, which was proclaimed by the United Nations General Assembly in 2016. Prior to joining UNIDO, she worked as a private sector specialist with the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, Zambia mission from 2000 to 2007. She's going to present on the topic. Like I said, there might be a co-presentation there with her colleague, but she's going to focus on the understanding the Africa's industrialization agenda through the Africa's Industrial Development Decades, IDDAs. So we are looking at from 1980 to 1990, as well as 1993 to 2002, with focus as well as from 2016 to 2025, and the strategic role of standardization, quality infrastructure, and strategic role of UNIDO. Over to you, Matilda, to take us through.
Thank you very much, moderator. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Kindly proceed.
All right. So thank you very much. So I'll go quickly into my presentation. Let me just share the screen. Is it visible?
Yes, it's okay.
We are able to see.
Okay. So yes, so you have rightly pointed out that this is going to be a
Matilda, if
Yes.
you can put it on slideshow, please.
Video
Yes?
put,
Okay.
yeah, okay.
All right, good. Yeah, so this is going to be a co-presentation as mentioned by the moderator. My colleague Aposi is going to present on the standardization aspects. So I'll go quickly, into the presentation. The outline is that I'll talk about the first and the second industrial development decades for Africa. I'll talk about the third industrial development decade for Africa, which is now. and also in relation to that, also talk about the IDA. I'll talk about, as required, summary of some of the challenges in the implementation of these decades. But talking about challenges, I think it's also just fair to talk about some of the successes that have been done so far. I will also talk about the status and progress of Africa's industrialization in general and IDDA3, and touch upon opportunities and way forward. Oh, sorry. Yes, so IDDA1 and IDDA2, as mentioned, IDDA1 was from 1980 to 1990. It was born out of the Lagos Plan of Action that was adopted by the Organization of Africa Unity, or AU. And its primary objective was to achieve self-reliance and self-sustenancy in Africa through industrialization. Some of the industrial key sectors of focus then were food processing, textile, forestry, building materials, construction, metallurgy, and et cetera, as you can see on the screen. And part of, or one of the main things that it was focusing on was the establishment of institutions, to guide Africa's industrialization. So institutions such as Africa Technology Center, Africa Center for Engineering, Design and Manufacturing, and so on. So, and then to implement that, there were some institutional supporters, key institutional supporters, of course, the AU, UNIDO, UNECA, and UNDP. For the second industrial development decade for Africa, this was guided by the Abuja Treaty that was signed in 1991, and that was advocating for the establishment of the Africa Economic Community, the REX. So the basic goal of the decade was to rehabilitate existing industries, but in selected subsectors. So leather and leather products, construction, engineering, and the like. Also, what the IDDA2 emphasized more than IDDA1 was the role of the private sector and also SME development. The institutional supporters that I mentioned continue to support the implementation of this decade. Now, so that was the second decade was from 1993 to 2002. So there was a gap in between, before the third industrial development came onto board in 2015. There was a gap from 2002 to 2016. So, but within that gap, I think the Africa Union, in conjunction with UNIDO, developed what is called the Africa Union Action Plan for the Accelerated Industrial Development of Africa, IDA, whose primary goal was to foster sustainable economic growth, wealth creation, global integration, using manufacturing as a dynamic force. And within the IDA framework, there were clusters of focus or areas of focus, which are listed here, and I'm not going to go through, all of them. But for instance, industrial upgrading, there was promotion of the infrastructure and energy, industrial innovation systems, research and development, technology development, et cetera, et cetera. So now from IDA, now came the third industrial development decade for Africa, which was proclaimed by the United Nations General Assembly in 2015 in July. And the main goal was to increase productivity and competitiveness of African industries, promote value addition, beneficiation, promote technology, innovation, entrepreneurship, etc. And the areas of focus that can be seen there is technology transfer, industrial park development, renewable energy, trade capacity building, etc., etc. Now with the IDDA3, and based on the lessons learned from IDDA1 and IDDA2, the supporting partners was broadened. So you can see there, that we have a number of partners there, out the NEPAD, UNECA, but there you have development financial institutions, you have REX, you have other UN organizations, and so on. So in terms of, UNIDO as the lead on the IDDA 3, took initiative to develop what is called the joint IDDA 3 roadmap, which has a number of programs and projects in support of Africa's industrialization. So in the slide that you see here is just showing some of the joint programs and projects that either are ongoing, initiated, or planned. So for instance, there's a program, the Common African Agro Tax Program, which is being led by the AUC, but there are many other partners, Afrexim Bank, the FCFT Secretariat, and so on. So there are many projects that I'm not going to go through, but this presentation is going to be shared with everyone. Now, this slide I just added because, the theme of the meeting is on textiles and leather. And I just wanted to show, that UNIDO is very, very active in these sectors, textile and leather. And I wanted to show this slide, which is to do with the integrated agro-industrial park that UNIDO has, or parks that UNIDO has assisted Ethiopia to develop. And together with that, what is called the model leather city. So UNIDO is actively supporting, the development of leather, as you can see. So let me just move to the next. And then another one is promoting creative industries in Madagascar. You can see this also has to do with cotton and leather and so on. And as, for example, through this project, about 7,500 students across 6 schools, have received entrepreneurship education, acquiring trade and entrepreneurship skills, so to say. Now, coming to the summary of some of the challenges of IDDA 1 and IDDA 2, but which also pertain to IDDA 3. We cannot emphasize much, but there's, there were challenges to do with skills gap, for required industrial activities, limited financing, lack of physical infrastructure, a lack of proper coordination mechanisms, involvement of the private sector in the case of IDDA 1, for instance, limited industrial statistic capacities and data management, but also those were endogenous, internal challenges, but there were also external challenges that were being faced, during this period when the decades were under implementation. So, those times, most of the African countries were one-party rule, transiting to multi-party governance. So there were a lot of delays there. There were these programs to do with structural adjustment, imposed by the outside. The debt crisis of the 1980s made it very difficult for investment into industrial programs. Africa was also hit at this time, especially with natural disasters. The global economic crisis in the 1980s also played a role. But having said that, there were also successes. Under these programs, we from the evaluation that UNIDO conducted, we saw that there were a number of programs that were developed, industrial development programs in each of the regions. There was also one aspect which was very good, but now is non-existent, but there was also establishment of an Africa Industrial Development Fund. And in some countries, there was implementation of consolidation programs that rehabilitated and improved the performance of industry. And also at regional level, a number of technical and sector institutions were set up. You know, and these are listed here, for instance, the Africa Regional Center for Technology, the Africa Regional Center for Design and Manufacturing, and so on and so forth. Now, what are the current challenges now, you know, in the implementation of IDDS3? Some of them, you know, I've already talked about, but the low pace of structural transformation. 80% of the population is still reliant on agriculture. This has not changed. Only 3%, you know, contribution of to world GDP from manufacturing. Infrastructure, we have talked about. The World Bank, Africa Development Bank says that Africa needs about 170 billion per year to overhaul its infrastructure. And market access, you know, we're talking about standardization here, you know, so issues of market access, you know, are still rife, you know, according to WTO. Developing countries face an average of tariff of 7.6 compared to, you know, others in other regions. And then, of course, the thing about the environment of the private sector, you know, much has been done, but we have quite a number of things that are still outstanding, you know. And industrial skills development, you know, the World Economic Forum estimates that 41% of employers in Africa struggle to find.
I have to intervene.
Okay. Hello?
No.
Okay. And then according, we have a limited access to finance, especially to SMEs. So I will not go, you know, deep into the thing. Otherwise, I'll cut time for my colleague to present. So these are the challenges, but they're also being compounded by new and emerging challenges, you know, like climate change, you know, conflicts that are ongoing, disasters that are happening, you know, public health emergencies like COVID and so on. So these are some of the things that, you know, continue to challenge the progress of Africa's industrialization. So, but having said that, so since 2016, you know, what can we really say has been the progress? So the last decade, the last 10 years has seen growth, the continent has seen growth in manufacturing in real terms. In real terms, manufacturing in sub-Saharan Africa has increased by 3.5% per year, outpacing the global growth rate. And according to World Bank, Africa's industrial GDP in 2019 expanded by 17%, with the value added of manufacturing surging by 39%. And also 37 out of 52 African countries have become more industrialized over the past 11 years. So this information is from the Africa Industrialization Index, which UNIDO and the Africa Development Bank worked on, and it looks at several indicators. So the information is that 37 out of 52 in the last 7 years have really shown progress. Of course, there have been also quite significant FDI inflows into manufacturing, which has also now helped to create jobs. And this can be seen through the abundance of industrial parks that are being established across Africa. So also significant progress has been registered in several areas with direct impact on industrialization, like infrastructure, digitalization, and so on. And technical assistance as well.
Sorry, Matilda.
I'm
so sorry to interject.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. I see you do have quite a lot of areas to be covering, which is good, and you're highlighting a lot of issues. What I'm going to request you is to just wind up. Unfortunately, we won't be able now to have your colleague presenting because of time. We still have other two presenters which are supposed to come in.
Oh my God, because that was the most important presentation, the standard one.
Yeah, okay.
That is the most one. Maybe I'll just end here and give my colleague the floor, at least.
Yeah, it will mean that he has to compress it maybe within 3 minutes at maximum because of time issues.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Over to you, Aka. I'm so sorry.
Permit me to present my slide. Can you stop your?
Yes, let me just.
You're showing.
Yes.
Okay. As an introduction, I'll be rapid because I think that most of the presenters has already talked about the importance of standard and quality. So I will summarize to come back to the subject, the main subject. We are talking about textile and leather. I want to do a smaller investigation. Most of the participants to this meeting, we are wearing shoes, we are wearing gloves, etc. But if you check on you personally, what is the percentage of those that you are wearing, the percentage of the local product? Me personally, when I see that I have nothing coming from my country, coming from Africa, where we are producing a lot of, we have possibility of producing leather. We have cotton in Africa, but we have some industries, but how many of them are sending to the international market? So the reason why, one of the reasons will be that maybe the quality of our product is not enough. So that's why UNIDO is taking into account in the development of the industry, is taking into account the quality aspect of this. We consider, UNIDO consider that, I don't know if you see my, UNIDO consider that we have to build a strong quality infrastructure and taking into account all the need coming from the stakeholders, the government, till the consumer, and have a system of quality based on standard. We have to develop standards. Standards should be applied, standard should be promoted, and standard should be known by the consumer, and that should guide their choice when they want to buy something. So for UNIDO, we have to have this quality infrastructure, but we have to support the value chain. When we support the value chain, we create a need. Our objective is that we have the demand corresponding to the need. The main objective of what we have to do when we are producing is to make so that our product can be sold in the market. So this is what UNIDO has tried to do in the region by supporting all Africa to develop its quality infrastructure. This map shows where UNIDO is assisting Africa to develop its quality infrastructure. We are present everywhere, quite everywhere. In West Africa, we have done many things, and with a portfolio, a global portfolio of around 70 million of euro, we are developing, assisting the region, African region, to develop quality infrastructure and create the demand. For example, regarding the
Jean.
yeah.
Yeah, yes, thank you. Can you just wind up in the next minute, because
Okay.
we are surely running out of time. Thank you for that.
Okay, thank you very much. So we have been supporting our need to support Africa to develop its quality infrastructure. And right now we are supporting the region, the Pan-African quality system, to develop its capacity. And we have worked on other regions such as ECOWAS, where we have finalized the development of the quality infrastructure to be able to, and we have assisted some value chain like textile and garment, or we have supported them to develop some standard and the application of these standards. So thank you. I have this document that will be distributed and you will see the details. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Matilda and Jean, for the detailed presentation with regards to the various work activities that UNIDO is doing in terms of capacity building, as well as the having a proper quality infrastructure, which is very, very key for the success of the industry. Because of time limitations, I've also noted that you managed to cover some of the questions which I had in your presentations. So I'm not going to ask questions. We will entertain. There could be questions from the floor during the Q&A session. We now want to have a presentation from Donald, who earlier on could not present. Just to request you, Donald, to compress your presentation to about 5 minutes, since we do have another presenter who is supposed to come through. Donald is based in Zimbabwe, and he is the quality assurance manager with the EDGAS, which is a group of stores here in Zimbabwe. And he has worked there for quite some years. He has a diploma in education, and he holds several qualifications in quality assurance from Apex Training Center, City and Guilds, to mention a few. He also is involved in safety, health, and environment, and internal auditing. Now, Donald is going to talk or to present on the challenge of second-hand clothing in Africa for Africa's textile and leather industry, national policies, initiatives, and regulations to promote the textile and leather industry with Zimbabwe experience. So he's going to cover on that. Over to you, Donald. Take us through the presentation. Hello, Donald, are you able to hear us? Hello, Donald?
Maybe his mic is not open, no?
Yeah, it appears we are not able to get in touch with Donald. So perhaps let me request Michael Graye to maybe do his presentation. If we manage to get hold of or to have Donald joining in, then you will continue. Michael is going to present on the topic making textile and leather a key pillar of Africa's industrialization and economic development, eco-certification and traceability of leather and leather products, the role of ALPI. Just to give a bio for Michael. He has work experience of over 25 years in the teaching, training, facilitation, and leadership, where he has participated in publication of 6 journal articles, research works, and 3 major national and international training and facilitation. He also he was instrumental in the development of BSc in leather tanning technology, and he has worked, with various leather sectors within the COMESA region. He holds BSc in biochem and masters in chem, and is also currently studying towards a PhD in ternary effluent treatment teaching in that. So, Michael, over to you. I will request that you try to compress your presentation so that we are it's covered within the next 10 minutes maximum. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me share my screen. And I thank you for that elaborate introduction. I hope my screen is visible. Is it visible? Am I audible? Oh.
Yes, you are audible and your screen is also visible. Thank you, Michael.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm not going to go through the introduction again. My topic is making textile and leather a key pillar for Africa's industrialization and economic development, and also highlighting the eco-certification and traceability and the role of ALPI, and of course, also the issues of challenge in the leather sector and textile. It will be in 3 parts, as it is mentioned. The first one will be what we can do to make sure that textile and leather are key pillars for Africa's industrialization. And the second will be current challenges in the production, manufacturing, and market access of leather and leather products, and also in line with the eco-certification and traceability. And then we'll look at the role of ALPI with access to, with a focus to SMEs in Africa. Making textile and leather pillar for industrialization and economic development needs to basically look at this summary. If I had time, I would be expounding on them, but they are in form of recommendations. So for textile and leather to be a key pillar for Africa's industrialization and economic development, the following need to be considered. The first one is something related to what Matilda mentioned, formulating a sustainable textile and leather industry piloting model for African countries, and also to put it in every country to play out and see whether it actually works. Secondly, we need also to set a Green Transition Africa agenda as an opportunity for production or for producing eco-friendly leather and textile products. We need making industrial and SMEs clusters and eco-industrial parks, as it was highlighted. And we also need to seek political will in mobilizing human and financial resources from African countries to solve Africa's problems, not just looking for outsiders for funding, yet actually their aim is not to fund Africa industrialization. Now, we need also to look at putting in place the institutional framework for coordinating a sustainable industrial transition. And the last one here is conducting training and providing startups. We also do research and making use of the research results to improve leather and leather products plus textile production. And the simple roadmap should be the textile and leather industry piloting model has to be mandatory, and it has to be informed by ARISO, the All Africa Leather and Textile Standards. And this should be also informing the green transition agenda for Africa, such that what we produce is acceptable across our national mandates. And then we also look at our micro, small and medium enterprises, clustering, and small industries to ensure that they pool resources as they were doing, but at elevated stage. And of course, if they are supported by political will in a national content, then this can avail support to these SMEs. And then we put in place the institutional framework which can look at all the infrastructure development and linkages. And lastly, putting deliberate centers of excellence that can look at testing, training, and research and development. And this speaking back to textile model, textile and leather piloting model. And this can give us a way how to develop the industrial sector. Actually, Center of Excellence was, as was mentioned by Matilda, Ethiopia is in advanced stages of doing this. And it is also speaking to the industrial park, which is taking place in Ethiopia. We also need to look at facilitating countries to produce adequate textile, leather, and leather products using ARISO standards. And then we look at means of devising means for ARISO to accredit production basing on all Africa leather and textile standards, upon which bargaining power to enter other markets can be drawn. We also need to promote branding of textile, leather, and leather products using Africa's inspirations, such that what trends out is actually made in Africa with African inspirations. We need to facilitate also the countries to practice intra-trade of textile and leather products, and their accessories to specific targets under local content standards, especially from ARISO. And at this point, that's when we need to look at creating links to international standards if we need them, and to enter also global trade through a well-negotiated agreements when our market has been satisfied. So we need not to miss a step here. Step one is to have products. Step two is to make them under ARISO standards. Then we brand our products. When we brand our products using our inspirations, we encourage intra-trade. At this point, we need intra-trade to be exhausted to always speak to our products we have, and we exhaust our market, which is already big, because we need actually almost, if we can go on footwear, 1.1 billion pairs of shoes. We don't see why we look at other markets. And after that, we need to look at international linkages. At this point, we need to look at them in line with not only selecting some countries, because the world has 195 countries. We need to look at countries that can accept our standards, and we start marketing with them. And at that level, we start looking at global trade with informed and negotiated levels. On the current challenges, there are actually three challenges. The first one is design and production challenges in leather and textile production sites. The same for environmental challenges, which are causing textile and leather production sites to close, and also fewer opportunities for access to finance. Looking at the design and production challenges, the disease actually is lower quality of products, hence low penetration of markets, which is due to poor animal husbandry practices in the case of leather, and little cotton, wool, and silk, etc. in the case of textile, improper processing, non-uniform of origin, non-uniform of preservation in the case of leather, and also poor storage practices in cotton, wool, and others. In the case of textile, non-availability of standard chemicals, which is a challenge, and lack of awareness of international standards at the level when members or consumers want or producers want to access the external market. Then the big one is lack of infrastructure and technology to boost hides and skins production at leather, cotton, wool, and silk production, processing leather and textile fabrics, processing footwear and textile garments. And to have these problems now explained a little bit, under environment, we have basically 3 to 4 challenges, and which we need also to solve. The first one being how to get rid of hazardous chemicals, how to ensure proper wastewater treatment, how to improve hazardous solid waste, how to conduct research and use research. These are a serious problem, and we need to also attach a solution. For example, getting rid of hazardous chemicals, we need to encourage chemical producers to invest in Africa, also build centers of excellence for tanneries and textile to have knowledge and education, and equip also SMEs and also testing laboratories, because when we talk of quality, we need to have this in place, and also go on capacity building initiatives. On proper wastewater treatment, we need to have common treatment plants built and also facilitated. And we also need to organize training on best practices for wastewater treatment, people to really enter into the business when they are aware of what to do, and empowering those who know to share their experiences and conducting laboratory scale simulated wastewater treatment at production, such that almost every member is aware in the fraternity of SMEs. On hazardous solid waste treatment, it is almost the same. This is actually the one which produces a lot of problems, from smell to chrome entering into agricultural arable land, which is actually emanating into closure of some of the tanneries and the other industries. We have, of course, to do exactly what we have seen up for treatment. On research, this is a challenge because Africa is not supporting research, to be honest, because we need to come out clearly that we put institution in place to avail support, whether in a grant form to competitive research, where people can do research along this area and they come up with results that can inform the industry. And also,
sorry, Michael, just to
yes, please.
If you could wind up in the next 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
okay, so on the issue of lack of access to finance, this is due to these SMEs working in silos and of course not accessing loans because they lack collateral. They need to be clustered. As they cluster, they will perform joint procurement, joint manufacturing, and joint marketing, which will lower the production cost and lower price, and therefore penetrate the market. And the industries, they need to be basically eco-friendly, such that the products that are produced will enter into the market and fulfill market requirements. And this must be in tandem, of course, with the conforming to market requirements and market penetration regulation, which all look at quality. And of course, not forgetting how they can be accepted and how they can be traced. Lastly, on the role of ALPI, ALPI is looking at enhancing value addition through SMEs clustering, as I've mentioned, facilitating and promoting or promotion of this and strengthening of regional leather value chain, and also promoting export of value added leather products, but at a level when we are sure that we have completed our market requirements here in Africa based on our resource. In conclusion, textile and leather industry have the potential of becoming a key pillar for manufacturing and industrialization in Africa, but quality enabled and equipped workforce should be our target if textile and leather industries are to be a pillar for manufacturing and industrialization in Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Michael, for the presentation, which is also detailed once again. Just to have a follow-up, a question from you with regards to SMEs. They form an integral part in terms of the textiles and leather industry, constituting a significant percentage. Well, what do you think needs to be done, especially with them being able to conform or to comply with some of the issues that we are highlighting pertaining to environment and safety and health within the industry? Maybe in a minute, if you can be able to explain that.
Thank you very much. For me, what I think is that standards are actually technical documents, and when they are trickling to SMEs, they need a document which is friendly to them in terms of language, in terms of level of understanding, in order for them to fulfill the requirements and specifications. At the moment, we have meetings which end at high level, and very few of the SMEs are involved. By the time the documents are reaching them, are actually a barrier for their production. So we need to have meetings of this nature, which can actually involve SMEs. If it means doing it country by country, but a method can be devised, but they need actually to understand, number one, what it takes to produce following standards, and what is the role of standards, and if the quality is improved, what does it mean to penetration of market, and also breaking even. Majority of them, when they hear a standard, they are actually trying to shy away because they think they are going to get money, extort money from them. So we need to look at that area. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael, for that answer, as well as important contribution to say we need to have standards which are simplified, which can be understood by SMEs, and that is very, very key. And involve them even from the onset when standards are being developed. Now, thank you for the presenters, all that have presented today. Unfortunately, we are not going to be able to get a presentation from Donald because of some technical issues, but the presentation will be shared with everyone so that we get to see what was to be covered by Donald. Now we can proceed to the question and answer session, which I'm hopeful that it will be for the next 5 minutes. Then we'll give back to the host. The first question, which I'm going to request possibly Mr. Mkoi, who is the Director General of SARS, to provide an answer to, is the one which came through the chat box. How is Zimbabwe addressing the challenges so that the targets set are met by 2030? I think this is to do with the strategy that Zimbabwe has as a country in terms of revitalizing textiles and clothing industry. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mtonono. I'll be brief and straight to the point. I think the first challenge, I'll just tackle, I think the major challenges and how they are being addressed. The first challenge is product rejection by the destination market. How we are resolving this, I think from the standardization point of view, we got our services accredited, but we realize in Africa, we are not at the same level in terms of getting accreditation. So together with ASO, we also worked on the mutual recognition framework of our various marks. So this is now, I think, at the final stage. In terms of that document, once it's finalized, I'm sure it's going to be rolled out by ASO, and something that we participated in together with 5 other countries. And I'm happy to say from our discussions with Ghana, Zimbabwe is almost ready to say once it's finalized, we're going to sign that agreement with Ghana. What this means is, once we recognize our marks, our products, textile and leather, that will go to Ghana, for example, they'll be accepted once the VISA's mark. I think that's one of the major things that we are doing. And what we're also pushing for at ASO level is once we have one standard, we also have one test, and we've got one mark. We would want ASO to come up with, I think the mark is already there, is the rolling out that we need to finalize the African mark on the various products. Once you've implemented an African standard, you put your mark there. Once the mark is put, then that product must be acceptable anywhere in the country. Then the other thing that we're doing around this same issue, and one of the issues that was spoken about was challenges around the bureaucracies in terms of the time it takes to amend legislation. What we are doing, working together and complementing the efforts of our regulators, our standards are being referenced in regulation. What that means is the standard can be changed. You don't necessarily need to change the regulation to effect some of the changes that are necessary. So that's one other thing that we're doing. In Zimbabwe, we also have a consumer commission that has now started doing its work. What it is doing, it also goes onto the market. They pick products and they allow us we work with them to test the products. If they are substandard, then there are penalties that are being levied to the various players. Then I think some of the things that we're doing in terms of the capacity building, funding, we're happy to say our government is supporting some of the projects through the physical space to be able to capacitate. I think some of the key value chains, like we know our cotton is produced by Cotco, it's heavily supported by the government of Zimbabwe. There are also laws that are accessed, and those who have demonstrated commitment to standardization have accessed these loans in much easier. So this is one way we're also encouraging our players to come on board and be able to deal with issues. Then in terms of, I think my last point on the regulatory challenges, in terms of amendment, the government came up with the National Competitiveness Commission. Its sole mandate, according to the Act, is to ensure that those regulations, where they are bottlenecks, they are quickly amended so that there is ease of doing business, the trade is able to be facilitated much quicker. Thank you, Mr. Mtono, for the opportunity. That will be our response.
Thank you for that detailed, answer. I also want to request Jennifer to answer the following, question on UNIDO presentation. DR Congo and Zambia are colored in gray. Probably Matilda, you can, answer that one.
I have already responded to in the chat, but in fact,
thank you.
In the map we show, we were showing the countries where UNIDO has already implemented a project on quality and standard. So DR Congo and Zambia, we didn't have any project there.
Thank you. I think thank you for that. Yes, I see Jennifer and Akim, you have your hand up.
Thank you very much. As we have been discussing, our big issue was quality, quality, quality. But I've also thought through, we need more training. We need to have institutions that cater for the various things that we need. As an African continent, we need to invest in education so we can get to the targets that we want. That is my submission. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that great contribution. I will give this time also to, let me read this question, which is in the chat box. Are there any specific marketing or advertising techniques that can be employed to create positive perception on made in Africa products, specifically in the leather and textiles sectors? Probably, Michael, if you are able to type that response to that question in the chat box, it will be better. While we get Walter with his hand raised up to come up with this contribution.
May I beg your pardon? Where is it written? Will you?
The question is that, are there any specific marketing or advertising techniques that can be employed to create positive perception of made in Africa products, specifically in the leather and textile sectors? Okay,
do I need to answer? Or it is just
just try to answer that in the chat box.
Chat box. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
But may I say something? For this, we are working. UNIDO is working in the framework of the ACP Quality Infrastructure Program with ARSO to, first of all, introduce the teaching of quality at the university. And we are working with ARSO that has started the job. And also we have many training to be provided. And ARSO has developed a quality mark, a certification mark that can be extended to other products such as leather. So we will also work on this project with ARSO. I think that Dr. Emogen is there, he can confirm. Thank you.
Thank you for that contribution, Jean. Walter, you can put in your contribution or question. Hello, Walter.
Hello.
Yes, you can proceed.
Yeah. Yes, thank you very much, sir, for the time. Mine is not a comment, rather, but it's just like an observation that I've made over the past few years with regards to issues of quality. You would find that if a product lands into your market and the consumers prefer it, unlike your product, it goes back to how are you making it. So there are a lot of things which I think are affecting this thinking or this view. One of them is mainly the quality and the perceptions within the consumers in Africa. I concur with a lot of, I think, presenters. They were talking about awareness. There is need for strong awareness campaigns on the consumers to really know that how did we make this shoe? How did we make this shirt? How did we make these trousers? And in terms of SDGs, how is it conforming to the global SDGs as set by the United Nations? Because that should be the starting point, because Africa has got abundant raw materials. And you'd find that when we've got an excess of hides, nobody would think about what is it that I'm doing to the environment. If somebody's got an excess of cotton, they wouldn't think about what is it that I'm doing to the environment when I'm processing my cotton. So I'm just saying there's strong need for a drive on awareness, especially on the consumers, so that if the consumers appreciate that point of view, then we can now say whatever the new design come, brands, they can sell themselves regionally or internationally. as they are portrayed in the customer's perspectives. So I would like to say it's a challenge to all African countries. How can we position our brands so that they can represent each and every nation's design ideas or origins and also conform to the standards and the sustainability issues? That's my contribution, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Walter, for that very important contribution. Chitradev, I hope I've pronounced your name properly. You can submit your contribution.
Yes, thank you. It's Chitra Devi. I'm from Mauritius. I just wanted to know, we want to develop our, especially in leather industry in Mauritius. But the challenge is about to meet the requirements of the standards in terms of testing. We don't have the testing facilities. So I wanted to know at the level of also where we have reached in terms of identifying laboratories that can test the leather so that we can produce good quality of leather, or we can share the capacity building available in the African region. So this is my question about the testing facilities that are already available within the continent, so that we can benefit from these facilities. Thank you.
No, thank you for that, SG and Mr. Mkoi, are you able to assist that question?
Yes, Ranganai, maybe I will speak on 3 points, starting with what I also saw on chart. One is the last question on testing. In collaboration with Afrexim Bank, there is a development of Africa Quality Assurance Centers. The first center was established in Nigeria just on agro-processing. But now we have conducted a study to see in which region we should target other value chains. And the study is almost complete. Countries will be approached to see if is it the southern part that we can put African Quality Assurance Center specifically for leather and textiles. That is to be assessed. The other part is looking at reference laboratories. I know in COMESA there is ongoing work or looking at reference laboratories. This is something that will continue and be assessed. On second point, there was a question on how the young generation is included in this and how we can have a young generation consuming what we produce. I would say in leather and the textile, we have actually African Fashion Week. That usually is held in line with Industrialization Week at the African Union level. That Fashion Week, you know, in any fashion industry, creative industry, I think we should use more our stars, our local stars, musicians, players. That's the way that we also get to know other brands. We need to brand our products. We need also quality product, but we need also to attract the young generation, as what we say. We need to use different models to attract the young generation to wear our shirts, our nice shirts. But the main issue also goes to the materials. Yeah, we shouldn't just remain on the design, the tailoring. Yeah, we should also be able to produce the yarn, the quality yarn, and so on. Last point, Mutonono, that I feel it was part of one presentation is the yes, actually the lady from Zimbabwe on machineries. Machinery is a big issue. It's a great problem. It's where the cost increases when we are producing in these value chains. We should always think about production, but looking at machineries. That's where industrialization can happen. If you think about manufacturing without thinking about where the mechanical parts will come from, we will always depend on importing those machines or just selling what you have as commodities. That is very important, that if you need, you think about clothing, if you need footwear, yeah, let's immediately think, how am I going to get the machines to produce what I want to produce? Thank you, Mutona.
Very much, SG, for the comprehensive answer to these questions. Let me take this opportunity to thank you all that have been putting questions in the chat box. Yes, unfortunately, due to time limitations, we will not attend specifically to them all, but they will be responded to, and the responses will be sent to you from our central secretariat. Yes, just as a parting shot, Jennifer, within 30 seconds, what is the take-home message from you?
Thank you very much. Just like our last speaker has mentioned, we need to really work on the issue of machinery, and also what I mentioned earlier about our education. I believe that two put together will be able to take Africa to the next level. And then also our standards bodies, I hope they can do more research, we can do more, me inclusive, because I'm on one of those committees, one or two civic committees. So I think we need to do better, invest a lot. And also the issue of financing, we need to figure that out as well as Africa. So I think that is it from me. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Jennifer, for that. Thank you very much, Jennifer, for that. Rumbi, from your end, what would you say are the, what is the take-home message within the next 30 seconds maximum? Or we can jump to Matilda. It appears Rumbi could be having some challenges. Matilda, what would be your take-home message?
Thank you very much, moderator. My take-home message after hearing the discussions is to let's continue to forge linkages. I think there are so many things that are happening, different players doing different bits of work towards Africa's industrialization. But let's forge linkages, and if we do that, I think we'll be able to make a higher development impact. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Matilda. Michael, what would be your take-home message as well?
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, let me thank you for this wonderful opportunity to be here. And my take home is, number one, we need to look at the way our people are producing their products, especially leather and textile. The issue of standard is key for quality, because at the moment our SMEs are confused between ARISO, national and international standards. We need to concentrate on ARISO, and then we inform them on how to go to the external standards like leather working groups, REACH, and the like, because there is a lot of confusion among them. And secondly, we need to look at training. There is little training, actually, which is a brain in an ocean. We need to concentrate on training. we need to concentrate on research. Products need to be informed by research. Designs need to be informed by research. And then we need to have centers of excellence for leather and textile in every country, because Ethiopia has developed what it has done because of the center of excellence that is here. Let's copy that model, and we have that model well piloted in the entire Africa. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Michael. Let me take this opportunity to thank all the presenters as I hand back to the host as well as Central Secretariat. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Ranganaye. If I can give my host to say a few closing remarks in 30 seconds.
Thank you very much, the SG, ASO, and the entire Africa for this opportunity to co-host. I think the message that I have as take home is standards are the tools that Africa needs to respond to its challenges. Let's implement them. Thank you. Over to you, SG.
Thank you very much. I would like to thank my co-hosts, Zimbabwe, Cosmos, my moderator, Mutonono, our speakers. Thank you very, very much for good presentations. I would like also to take this opportunity to thank all of you who have been participating this whole year in our monthly webinars. We are closing the monthly webinars, but we will be having another webinar on some technical issues, mainly on renewable energy and industrialization next month, which will be our last webinar for this year. I urge you to come. It will be co-hosted with Morocco, the Kingdom of Morocco, Imanol. I welcome you on 15th November 2023, once again to close the year with our webinars. I thank you a lot. My one word is let's consume what we produce. Thank you very much. If you can put on your cameras, we take a photo. Put on your cameras, please. We can take a few screenshots. Walter, we want to see you, Walter. Sivosve, we want also to see you. I see Fabian, I see Victor Njemba, my brother. Thank you for coming. Thank you a lot. Looking forward to seeing you on 15th November. Bye, have a nice day, have a nice evening, depending where you are coming from. Bye, thank you.